and welcome to the start of another weekly vlog. It has definitely been quite a while since my last weekly vlog and my last video in general. Although I do think before this vlog comes out, I will have already posted my mid-year sort of check-in. I am starting off this vlog I just finished filming that sort of mid-year check-in video. It's a lot of stats, but I also wanted to start off this vlog. My weeks are definitely going to be different now because I am just starting this on a random Tuesday. But either way, I wanted to sort of come on here and for the beginning just sort of talk about where I have been. So I think where my last vlog left off, I was talking about getting a promotion at my job. I did. It was really terrible. Not necessarily the position itself, but what sort of happened with management at my job, sort of a lot of people coming and going, and the work environment just got really bad, really toxic, and yeah, it sort of happened right as I got that promotion. I was not able to go down either, so I did end up leaving that job. But while I was at that job for about 3 months, or not at that job, but in that position for 3 months, I was working quite a few hours. So instead of 40 hours a week, I was averaging about 50. So it was quite a lot. Also, I am still in school. I do school online. And so it was sort of a lot to juggle of all of my assignments and also working so many hours at this job. And also I was sort of supposed to only be working in the mornings. I ended up only working nights, which also messed up a lot of stuff with my schooling. But yeah, it was a really bad time, a really stressful time with how much I was working and doing school. But yeah, I ended up leaving that job and I did get another part-time job. It's a lot less hours, it's a lot less money, but it's also a much chiller environment, which is what I needed. Again, still in school, I don't exactly have the ability to work so many hours, but yeah. Either way, I am able to sort of vlog, do videos again, have some actual time to read. If you did see my mid-year check-in, you'll have saw that in May I didn't read anything at all, which is very unusual for me, and has not happened in many, many years. I think in the past 5 years, I have only had 1 month that was super low, and that was 2 books that I had read that month. So again, 0 books in a month, very unusual for me. It made me very sad to see, but either way, it's June now. It's the middle of June. I have read 2 books, and yeah, I am here again. I am hopefully going to not be as stressed. It's definitely a better environment. So yeah, life changes, new things happening, but yeah, I am back to weekly vlogging. As for my plans this week, I only work 3 days this week, and it is the end of the summer semester that I'm taking, so I don't have too much left in that class. My final exam is next week, so there's not too much going on this week. On Thursday, I will be going out with my boyfriend and his parents. We're gonna go see How to Train Your Dragon, which is very exciting. But yeah, not much really planned for this week. I'm just hoping to read a bunch, chill, honestly. I definitely still need to decompress and de-stress from everything that happened at my old job, but yeah. I do have a couple assignments that I need to work on, but overall it's just going to be a very chill week. So I am currently reading 5 books, so let's talk about them a little bit. The first one is the audiobook of Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. This is sort of a satirical horror type book, which I'm really enjoying so far. There's a lot of gross moments in it, which isn't exactly something I was expecting, just based on what this book is about. But I do really like it. I do like when a horror book gives me feelings, and this one gives me very unsettled feelings, some very gross feelings. And honestly, that's what I want from my horror books, so I'm really enjoying it. This one I am also almost done with. I think I have about an hour and a half left of the audiobook, so it is one that I can finish really soon. The other audiobook that I am also almost done with, I only have 1 chapter left of this one, and that is Money. This one is the book that I am reading for my economics class, actually, so I will definitely be finishing this one this month because things about this book will be on my final exam, so I will definitely be finishing it. But again, I only have 1 chapter, which I think is only like 15 minutes left of the audiobook, so I might just go ahead and finish that one today. I don't really have too many thoughts on this one. It's a book about the history of money, and it's fine. I think I might have enjoyed it more if it wasn't for school and I wasn't being asked like random, very specific details about this book, but overall I think it's a very interesting book, a very interesting subject, which is very similar to another book that I'm also in the middle of reading, and that would be the Almightier. This is one I was sent by the publishers. It does come out in July, so it does come out very soon. But this is How Money Became God, Greed Became Virtue, and Death Became Sin. So again, another book all about money and the history of money. I'm only about 30 pages into this one so far, so not very far, but what I have read is very interesting. And I do like this author's writing style so far. So yeah, I will be continuing with this one, but probably not finishing it this week. Also, I started The One, and this is another sort of horror book. It might just be like a thriller, I'm not too sure, but it is one that I have had on my TBR for a while. I'm about 50 pages into this one, and this one is following this sort of DNA find your soulmate type of technology that was developed. And so it's so far from the first 50 pages, it's exploring all these different characters, the situations that they're in, and how this new technology is impacting all of their lives, from them finding their soulmates to already like being married or sort of engaged to someone and finding out that maybe they're not your soulmate, maybe they are. Yeah, it's sort of exploring different things so far, so I am excited to see where this one goes. But yeah, I am enjoying it so far. And then the last book that I am currently reading is an ebook, and that is a photo finish. This one is a small town romance, and I did just finish Wild Love by this author, and I gave it about 3.5 stars. I have heard a lot of people say that Wild Love is a different tone than Elsie Silver's other books, and since I do own this one, I wanted to give it a try and see if maybe I like it a little bit more. But yeah, I have only read the first 2 chapters of this one so far, so I don't have too many thoughts or feelings on it yet. I am also participating in Clear Your Shit. It is a readathon about reading all of the books you own. Obviously, that goes with my challenge of reading down my TBR, but yeah, I really love this readathon. I participate every year. There's a mini readathon in June, and then the actual like main readathon is in November, and I participate in both every single year. I have since this readathon was created, and yeah, there are 8 prompts plus a free space, so my goal for June is to read 8 books at least. I felt like 9 was a bit of a stretch, especially since we are already halfway through June, but I would at least like to read a book for all of the prompts, just because I have always completed all the prompts every time I've done this readathon, so that is a big goal of mine this month. And yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything more to update you guys with currently, but I will probably be back later today to let you know about the books that I finish or continue reading. The money book I will definitely be finishing today because it's only 15 minutes and I would like to just be done with it. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Hello, it has been a couple of days. It is now Friday. I do have a couple things planned for today, but I did just want to come on and give a little update. So I did finish the book Money. That was the audiobook I was listening to for my class. I'm giving it a solid 3 stars. It's just about the history of money and it was interesting, but I think any book that I read for school just seems like a chore and it kind of just takes the enjoyment out of the book for me. But I did finish that one and I am still almost done with Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. I think I have like 20 minutes of that one, so I'm going to try and finish it today if I don't get too busy. But yesterday I actually went out with my boyfriend and his parents. We went to the movies and saw How to Train Your Dragon, and that was really good. It is very similar to the cartoon, so I did like that, very nostalgic. But we also stopped in at Books A Million, and I know I said I was going to go on a book buying ban and not buy any more books, but I ended up getting a couple of books, so let's talk about them. So I did get 3 books. I only bought one. My boyfriend got the other 2 for me because he is the absolute best. But yes, I got Do I Know You, which is a beachy summertime romance, which it's summertime. I've been going to the pool a lot lately, so I am very excited to have this and I will probably read it very soon. And I also got Problematic Summer Romance, again another summer beachy romance. This one's by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely adore Ali Hazelwood's books. Can't say the same for the short stories. I am behind though. I have not yet read Deep End. I do own the audiobook version of that one though, so hopefully I get to them very soon, but I am very, very excited for this one. And I also have not heard anything about it. Somehow I've stayed away from anyone talking about it, so I will be going into this one very blindly because I have no clue what the plot of it even is. And then I bought Firebird, which is a very hyped up romantasy. I hear everyone talking about this. I do know a lot of people have like mixed opinions on it, but it is a dragon book in some way, and I love these free edges. Those are just absolutely beautiful. But this one just felt very right to get after watching How to Train Your Dragon, so I had to get a dragon book, and again, it's gorgeous. I couldn't pass it up. But I'm very interested to see how I will feel about this one since there are so many mixed opinions on it. So I do have a couple things planned for today, and I'm not sure if I'm just gonna make like a short of it, of like a mini vlog version of everything that I do today, or if I will also throw in some b-roll footage of what I do today. But yes, I'm very excited. I can't say that too much reading will be done today, but oh, I do have an update on A Photo Finish. I believe that's the title of the Elsie Silver book that I'm reading. But I am about 20% of the way through this one, and I do have to say I'm very bored. I just don't feel the chemistry between these characters. I know that this author is so hyped up, so I feel very disappointed and I feel like I'm missing something. So is there like a popular one of her books that I like absolutely need to try? Because if there is, definitely let me know. Because I feel like her books have like such good premises and setups, but I just don't feel anything around it. Especially with this one, these characters knew each other previously, so we get like little snippets of the past and then the present where they are sort of forced to be in the same house as each other. And I love a good forced proximity book, but this one I just don't feel anything. I don't really understand why they care so much. I do know that with their past, it is leading up to what happened to make them stop talking to each other, but honestly, I just don't care, and that's just really disappointing. I am going to keep reading it though to see how I feel, but honestly, I'm kind of deciding about DNFing this one. But I will be back to update you guys later. I went to the library and signed up for the summer at the library, so I got this really adorable tote bag, and I did get a couple of books, obviously, because how can I go to the library and not check something out? I got a cup and a sticker along with the tote bag, and then I also got this pencil, and then of course the 4 books that I got. Very impulsive, not many actual reasons why I picked them up. The first one is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which I was just talking about. I do have the audiobook of this one, but I do prefer to read books physically. Also, look at these end papers. The sprayed edges, it's gorgeous. It's definitely making me want to actually buy a physical copy for my shelves, which is not good, but maybe I will treat myself if I actually get to this one and end up loving it. But yes, I saw this there, and of course I had to pick it up because maybe it will make it higher on my TBR and I will actually read it. I got Make Room for Love. The only reason I picked up this one was because it's sapphic, and obviously Pride Month, sapphic, how could I not? Hot Summer is one I haven't heard anyone talk about, but it looks like it's a sapphic romance, but I'm honestly not sure. All I know is it has to do with a reality dating competition, which just sounds like fun, and again, it's summertime, I'm in the mood for the cute little romance beach reads. And then I got Quicksilver, which is a romantasy that I have heard so many amazing things about. I did not know this book was this chunky, but I am excited to see what all of the hype is about, and hopefully I actually get to these books before I have to return them to the library. But really the only one I'm going to prioritize is Deep End, since I do have a copy of it on my actual TBR. It is on my audiobook TBR, and I definitely don't need to be reading books that are not on my TBR, since I still have over 250 books on my TBR. But again, I went to the library. I couldn't resist not checking out books. I have to at least help my library do my part, and yeah, it was really fun because I got all the extra little things. But that is my haul. My boyfriend is running into the Cheesecake Factory to get some slices of cheesecake, and yeah, that is kind of the update on my little day. But I did do like some short little clips at the library to like maybe make into that little mini short vlog that I was talking about. I'm not too sure. I really suck at making like shorts, reels, TikToks, all of that, but I am attempting it, so we shall see how it goes today. Hello, as you can tell, it is a bit later. The day is almost done, although you could not tell from how bright it still is outside. But I did end up finishing Wake Up and Open Your Eyes, so let's talk about that, because I have feelings, and like, I think I'm settling on a solid 3-star read, which is disappointing because I think all of my reads for June so far have been a 3-star. But I really enjoyed the first part of this book, and the whole setup and concept of it. But when we sort of switched to the different perspectives and following the second family dynamic, I sort of got kind of bored. I was still intrigued to see how it would end, but I was sort of bored. It was sort of repetitive, and I was sort of hanging on the ending to really tie this whole book together, to really bring back the feelings that I had with the first part. And there's a direction I feel like it could have gone that would have made me give this book 5 stars, and it did not do that. I thought the ending was just very boring, very safe, and didn't really like blow me away. I wasn't necessarily predicting it, but it also did not shock me in any way. And yeah, since this is such a satirical book, I don't even know if I've talked about what this book is about, but this is a more satirical horror that's playing on the concept of Republicans versus Democrats in the US and how these two sides are always fighting, and also sort of this alt-right pipeline. It talks a lot about the different pathways that people can go down to end up on the alt-right side, and that was pretty fascinating. Some of the things were pretty funny. So this book is pretty much following this sort of ideological outbreak where all of these alt-right people end up going crazy and causing a lot of like disaster in the world, start attacking their own family members, that kind of thing. I don't want to go too much into it. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just, I feel like the concept was really good. The setup was really good. That ending just did not do the whole concept justice, in my opinion. I understand where the author was trying to go with it, but it did not hit the way I would have liked it to, unfortunately. But in other news, something else that I did today, besides going to the library, I also stopped at Barnes & Noble's and Books A Million, and I managed to not buy a single thing while I was there, which I say is a great sign of restraint on my part. Very proud. We're making progress. I'm sticking to that book buying band, even though I did get books at the library when I should be reading my TBR, but we don't need to talk about that. But yes, I think that is all the updates that I had. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow. A little bit of an update. Today I took my final exam for the class I was taking this summer, so I now have about a month and a half till I have any other classes to take, which is very exciting. I get a nice little break, and I'm hoping I can read a lot now that I'm not in school. And also, since I only have a part-time job now, not a full-time job, I will also have more time to read. But also today I went to the gym with my boyfriend. I don't know if I've talked about that, but one of my goals for 2025, like not a reading goal, but like a personal goal, was to actually go to the gym more often. Specifically, I wanted to work on like weight training and stuff, but either way, I did that today, and I also finished a photo finish, and I'm giving this one 3 stars, which I think I have given to every single book that I have read so far in June, which is kind of sad, but like this wasn't a bad book. I think last time I updated you guys, I was talking about how I wasn't sure how I felt about this book or if I wanted to DNF it, and I obviously finished it, but my main complaint is still just that I don't really feel the chemistry between the two characters. Everything else about the book is great. The characters are great. Everything is great. Storyline, plot lines, everything. But the actual chemistry between these two characters, I just don't feel. I don't feel that emotional connection. I just don't feel any of the chemistry, and since it is a romance book, that is what I am mainly looking for. And yeah, that is why it got a 3-star rating and nothing higher. I do still have one more book by this author. I'm not sure if I want to necessarily read that book right now, just because so far both of the books I've tried by this author have been 3 stars, but yeah, I will have that other book that I will eventually read, or maybe I'll do like another try a chapter, where I already read the first chapter in like my try a chapter ebooks edition, but maybe I'll read the second chapter, see how I'm feeling with it now that I know how this author writes stories, and see how I feel about it. but I don't have any sort of rush or excitement to pick up that book. And I think the other one that I have is actually the first book in the series to a photo finish, I believe, a false start. It's at least somewhere in that series, but either way, that is 5 books I have read so far in June, and so that's 5 out of 9 prompts that I have read for Clear Ship, which is very exciting. I'm getting books off of my TBR. And yeah, I think I'm mainly going to be focusing on reading the Almightier and the One, and we shall see how it goes. But this is going to be the end of the vlog. I think the next clip I'm going to film is going to be like my wrap up of everything I read and my stats for my numbers with my TBR, since I did add some books and I have read some. So I'll give those numbers in the next clip. But I think for the next vlog, it's going to be a lot more exciting because I'll have a lot more time to read. And also next week, I am going on vacation for a couple days, so that will also be very fun. And I am hoping to vlog a lot of the experience because I am going to quite a few places, quite a few new bookstores that I haven't checked out before, so I am really excited for that. So definitely stay tuned for the next vlog for all of that. But yeah, I'm not really sure if from this clip to the next one if I will have finished anything else, but I am about 25% of the way through the Almightier, so I might see how much of that I can finish tonight. Thank you for making it to the end of the vlog. Let's go ahead and wrap up everything that I read and what my numbers currently are. So the first book that I finished this week was Money, and like I already mentioned, this one was for my economics class, and I did give it 3 stars, but this did get an audiobook off of my TBR. I also finished the audiobook for Wake Up and Open Your Eyes, which I also gave 3 stars, but it did get another book off of my audiobook TBR. I also finished the ebook for A Photo Finish, and again, it was another 3-star read, but it did get an ebook off of my TBR. And then last night I did manage to finish the Almightier, and this one I'm actually giving 2 stars. This one was a very big disappointment for me. I really like reading nonfiction, and I thought this one was a very interesting concept of connecting money and religion, which are 2 subjects that I am interested in reading about in nonfiction. But this book, I really was not a fan of the writing style. I feel like a lot of the sentences, specifically towards the first part of this book, were very like short, stilted sentences that sort of messed with the flow of the book. This one was also a lot more historical, heavy, historical focused, focusing on a bunch of different historical figures, and I was less interested in that. I will say that I wish this book was written more with the author's voice instead of being written more like a school paper. Because the last chapter of this book, you really see the author's personality, and it definitely like brings out the story more, makes it more entertaining, and I wish the entire book was written that way. But yeah, this one was a big disappointment for me, but I'm not upset that I read it, and I am thankful that the publisher did send me a copy. But yeah, this is one that is getting off of my physical TBR. And I'm still currently reading The One. I didn't make any progress this week in this book, but hopefully next week I do manage to finish this one. I will be focusing more on this one now. And then I also started the audiobook of Soundtrack. I think this one is only available in audio. I'm not 100% sure though, but I did start listening to this one. So as far as my numbers for my TBR go, I am at a total of 259 books, which is progress. We are making progress, which is really good. I did still acquire books this week, as you saw, but I'm not totally upset about it. And yeah, as far as like the breakdown goes, 39 are ebooks that I have left on my TBR, 114 are audiobooks, and 106 are physical books. So the only one that has not moved is my physical books. That has stayed the same since the beginning of the year, and that is just because every time I end up reading a physical book off of my TBR, I do end up acquiring more. So I'm hoping that in the upcoming vlog you see me reading more physical books, because it is going to be my birthday soon and I'm going on vacation next week with my boyfriend. So I just know I'm going to end up acquiring even more physical books, but we shall see how it goes. But thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in next week's vlog. Bye!